the roadside attractions, the oddities, the curiosities along Route 66 in western Arizona between Seligman and Kingman hold a special place in my heart.
I just thought about it. I thought about it in the middle of the night. It was, I came from New Jersey, and I was traveling across, one of my friends was a crossroad trucker. So I said, oh my God, let me just take a ride with you. We came through Kingman. I fell in love with it. Went back to New Jersey, put a for sale sign in front of my house, and moved out here. Bought the property at the Cozy Corner Trailer Park. It's at 9855 Route 66 at the corner of Van Terrace Road. And it was it's an old RV park. It was a restaurant, this really strange, huge A-frame, biggest A-frame I've ever seen in person. And so I was like, this place just, it needs something. And without even drawing a picture of it, I just saw it in my head. I went down to Bullhead because we didn't have a Home Depot here yet. So I drove down there, talked to them about it, and they told me it couldn't be done. So that really made me want to do it because I wanted to make it out of like styrofoam and all these things and cement because I had never worked with any of it. I came back and I made it, and it was something else trying to do it in the wind, like with the big foam sheets and stuff. It was really exciting. So. Just something I saw in my head. I made it real.
The folks in Easter Island would be very pleased.
I'd like to think so.
Did you ever think that that thing would get such international recognition? The cover of magazines. It's just really, really quite amazing.
It really is.
That's gotten.
I know, it's been a journey. It's incredible. I was really excited about that.
I turned up a 1964 advertisement for that property.
Oh, wow.
When it was first opened. And I shared it with John, and boy, it would really offset Gigantic Aestheticus to paint that in the original colors of salmon, orange, and blue.
Oh my God, that would be great.
that would be definitely something that would catch attention.
Oh yeah.
The views of that valley are just priceless out there.
Oh, they really are.
Absolutely priceless.
Those are federally protected views. And there's only a handful of them in the United States where you cannot build a cell phone tower. You look at that whole range behind our Music Mountains, Grand Wash Cliffs, you won't find any satellites or towers or anything like that because it's all federally protected because it's just so majestic.
Very, very neat.
Yeah.
And your work now is showing up in gift shops and all over Route 66.
Thanks. It's been exciting. We finally got our first gallery. That was really cool. You know, we haven't tried, but we did. So we got our first one now, so we're happy.
Well, what's next on the agenda?
Well, I have another movie coming up. People have been contacting me to be in movies or do props and fabrication for them. Very exciting stuff with all of that. So that's it. And just making. I have people commission me to do different things. I'm going to be doing copper countertops. I've never done that before, and so that's an exciting new adventure. And you know, a lot of wind sculptures those sell very well, and a lot of donations. We donate quite a bit to local charities. I think that is so important. You know, you have to give to get, and don't do it just so you can get. Do it because you want to give. It has to be genuinely from your heart. It really does.
You've always been very generous here with the
Thanks.
community. And I happen to know of a Greg Arnold portrait that's in a studio.
Oh yeah, we have to do one of your Jim Hinckley America shows from there.
That's what we're working on.
Oh,
yeah,
great!
That's coming up pretty quick.
Well, you deserve it. You worked so hard to promote Kingman, to promote Route 66, and you've written 18 books.
Well, it's all part of the adventure. It's like you said, you know, got to give something to the community. The
You do.
idea is to make this place better when we leave than when it was when we got here.
Right, exactly. Like if you go to a party at somebody's house, don't leave a mess. Try to clean up as you can.
Yeah,
Make it a little better.
Yeah, make it so they're not happy when you leave. Make
And they'll invite you next time.
it so they're happy that you were there.
Right, exactly.
Greg, thank you for sitting down with us today. This is good. This
Oh.
is really good, and really excited about John with the Caverns taking on Enter's Point, working with you to create the new Antares Point Route 66 Visitor Center.
He's doing amazing work out there. There's a lot of little photo ops. There's a motorcycle you can sit on and have your picture taken and stuff. It's very cool.
And a lot of Greg's wind sculptures.
Yeah.
And we've got plenty of wind to keep them going.
I know, and there's going to be more. This right here, if everybody can see it, I don't know. It's this Southwest art I did, and for the backdrop, I used part of the original motel sign from Antares Point. And it's so, you know, again, you're repurposing everything and making it an important part. So I can capture the history of that place instead of that just going to the junkyard or something. Why not make it something that is photo worthy and that people can then share? They'll be like, oh my God, because this was very important when they built that building and property back in 1964. So why not let it still be important and just take on a different form?
Yeah, that's it. Repurpose it.
Yeah.
Best of the old, best of the new.
That's right. That's right.
Well, Greg, thank you for this very much, and thank you for what you're doing on this.
Thanks, Jim.
It's really, really important.
We have a lot of fun.
We do. We find things to have fun with.
I know it. Everybody, welcome to my shop. This was a 1923 Shell station, and it's right on Route 66, which is awesome, right across from the county building. So out front, I have a full-size dromedary camel made of metal that has a mailbox in his mouth. And as you can see, the shop works out fantastic. And again, it captures some more history of, you know, why build a new building when you can repurpose an old one? And the lifts still work. I have an inside lift, I have an outside lift. So it's very exciting, and it's a perfect workshop for me.
I've been running this section of road since 1966. I remember these places in their glory days, in their prime, when they were bustling and busy and fresh and new. In the late 1970s, the bypass of the highway, I watched them fade and I withered. Some of them closed and some are gone. Now, in the era of Renaissance, those that survived are more vibrant than ever. You continue east along Route 66, you start climbing up into the mountains and through Truxton Canyon. Another little landmark, of course, is the Hackberry General Store. It's become quite famous here in recent years. And previous owner a few years ago, John Pritchard, he transformed this into a caricature, a time capsule of what people expect to see on Route 66. And it's proven to be quite popular. People miss is on the other side of the tracks. The town of Hackberry itself. A town once so vibrant that it was considered to become the Mojave County seat. National Old Trails Highway ran right through the center of town. That would have been the road that Edsel Ford traveled in 1915, along with about 20,000 other travelers headed to California that year on the road. Until 1937, Route 66 also ran right through the heart of town. Not much left today. An old post office. Quaint little Spanish mission-style school, long closed, that opened originally in 1917. Further to the east, though, that's the real gem of this section of road, Grand Canyon Caverns. The caverns mirrors Route 66, its entire evolution, encapsulated in this one little magical spot. Walter Peck, an itinerant woodcutter and cowboy and general all-around hand, literally stumbled on the opening, and there's various stories on how that happened. But this was 1 year after Route 66 was certified, and they turned it into a bit of a tourist attraction, he and his buddies. Mr. John, thank you for taking time to talk with us today.
We are always a better place when you're here, so we're delighted to have you back, as you often are.
I have to come back for my pie fix on a regular basis. John, you do an amazing job with this place. I gotta tell you, it's got such a peaceful feel and a comfortable feel.
Yeah, we're trying to recreate a little slice of 1964 here, which was like a little bit kinder, gentler time. Right at the beginning of the Vietnam War, barely had begun, and before the culture sort of started to change. And we do think it's something that people aspire to, and we're especially pleased that our younger guests really are drawn to it.
It's a great family location, and I was sitting here today just now eating some great apple pie, and I was thinking, I've been coming up here for 50 years, and it used to be a little overly crowded, and now it's got just enough of a crowd where it's got life and vitality. It feels right. What possessed you to take on a project like this?
Well, I've been coming here I think even longer than 50 years. 1967 was the first time I took the cavern tour, and it just was such a delightful place that in 5 decades of hiking inside the Grand Canyon, I often brought new people with me, and every time I would bring them here. And for the longest time, it was during the heyday when this place was just crazy busy, probably the busiest place in Arizona. And then when the freeway bypassed it by 36 miles, it became the least busy place in Arizona, along with a lot of other places. They lost 95% of their business, and it never came back. So I brought people in that time period too, and it was very sad to see it decline. And eventually the family put it up for sale, and my brother saw it was up for sale and called me and said, "Your favorite place in the world is available for sale," and I said we should buy it. And I didn't know what that meant. But after a year of working on it and a year of negotiation, we actually did buy it. And we have heard that there were 7 bidders for it, and that we were chosen because we were the ones that promised to restore it. And they felt that we would do that. The family was very sensitive to the fact that they had let it run down a little bit, and because they lived in Denver, they wanted people that would work on it here. And even though I lived in California, I'd spent every weekend for a year here, and so they had a pretty good idea I wasn't going to be an absentee.
You're very much hands-on. I see you doing everything here, from busboy to caverns tour guide.
Yeah, I don't have an office here because it's all about the guests, and it's just nice to be around. I'm a nut for clean and a nut for authentic, and we just want everybody to come here and really feel comfortable. So I try all the restrooms on the property every day, the ones that are for the men anyway, and I make sure the others are checked, and we just want people to come here and have a really, really happy time.
It is a great place. You mentioned this being busy in the 60s. My pa always told me better to fill your head with useless knowledge than no knowledge at all. But the reason there's a 4-lane segment highway out here, that was at one time, that was the only 4-lane segment of Route 66 in Arizona or New Mexico that was not in an urban area. That's a testimony to how busy this place was in the 60s.
Yeah, it was, and also what a nightmare it became. It was a combination last high desert truck stop, and then the immense success of the cavern tours, and it created a traffic nightmare. So there was so much sales tax at stake here for the state that they took the initiative to put in that double-lane road each direction with left and right turn lanes, which is really the forerunner of the interstate highway system, just to protect themselves from the ever-increasing potential of lawsuits, because the traffic was so terrible, because it was such an incredibly successful place.
When did they put that 4-lane interchange in? Do you have an idea on what year that would be?
It was in the early 60s, after this building, the 1962, when this building opened. That was kind of the final coup de grace, so to speak, along with the truck stop. The traffic was just unbearable, and I believe that's when I put in. I actually don't know the exact year. I should know, and I don't.
I was thinking about the the second entrance after the era of Dope on a Rope, and they built the swinging bridges and all the stairs and everything. Was it true that some of that lumber was from Hoover Dam, the Hoover Dam construction project?
Everything on that suspension bridge, which is one of the great suspension bridges anywhere. I mean, it's the real deal. It's made with real products. Every bit of it was from the creation of Hoover Dam and brought over here afterwards by the Civilian Conservation Corps, and they built the dam or the bridge for free. And Walter Peck, our founder, and the ranchers put in the steps that connected up. In 1936 to 1962, that's how you got in and out, was on that suspension bridge. We still get people here that, as children or young adults, remember that. And of course, they're getting up there now, but
a kid would remember that for.
They don't remember much else about this place, but they remember that bridge.
Well, it's kind of neat when I write about this. I talk about this cavern is literally it grew up with Route 66. It's evolved with Route 66. And when the highway declined, the caverns declined. And now that the highway's in a renaissance, the caverns is in a renaissance.
Yeah, when we bought the place in 2002, April 2002, on the first day we owned it, there was virtually hurricane winds, and we lost most of the roofs on all the buildings. And we had just bought it that morning, so we owned it. So on the very first day, we spent about $70,000 on roof repairs. And it was about 3 years into the project before the road started to really make a comeback. So for a while there, we were busy fixing and repairing and spending a lot of money on the place without any reward from the revenue side. And we were kind of nervous about that. But by 2005 and 2006, then it started to really grow and prosper, as did everything on the road.
Well, your staircase here, too, the emergency staircase to the caverns, that's another kind of historical curiosity, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, we have the elevator, which was a used elevator out of a high-rise in Phoenix that was put in here in 1961, and that came out of a building torn down in 1956 in Phoenix. And to provide another way in and out if the elevator were to break, they bought that stairway used out of a New York City tenement building being torn down in the Lower East Side of New York in Manhattan. And it came here, and it's been a wonderful way to get people in and out in an emergency. And also on our Explorer tour, we let people use that stairway, much to the guide's distress, to come up at the end of their tour if they want to. And it's amazing how often they pick it to do that. It's 21 stories of metal steps, and it's pretty exciting.
That would be in there, too.
It's quite a trip.
Another thing that's neat, this isn't just a family location, but I mean, it's the only caverns I know of on Route 66 where you have wheelchair accessible and spelunking tours.
Yeah, when we bought the place, they had one tour, and it was the tour they'd offered since 1962, incredibly successful, and it served the general public very, very well. But it didn't serve everybody. It didn't serve people with short on time or people with any kind of disabilities. So we invented the short tour using the exit in and out of the first room and the elevator, that now absolutely everybody can get down there to take a peek. And that's pretty important that we not make the cave exclusive to one group or another. We really want everyone to enjoy it in their own fashion. And then for the people at the other end of the spectrum that have been here 3, 4, 10 times, something new for them, we added the Explorer Tour where they go off trail into a bunch of other side rooms. And then in August of 2014, after 9 years of digging, we got into another giant cavern. We knew it was there, but we didn't know how far it was. We finally got into it. And after 18 months of scientific exploration, we were allowed to use most of it for another tour. And that tour has become unbelievably popular. It's a 3-hour, get filthy dirty, have a blast adventure underground. And we're doing it almost every day with 1 or 2 groups. And it's become just a huge, huge success for people that really want to feel like they went on an adventure. And they come out and they say, yeah, I've been on an adventure.
It's a great place, John. It's a great place. You should be very proud of this.
Yeah, we are. It's the ultimate hobby. We're having so much fun here. Have a couple of new things going all the time because we want somebody like you that is familiar with the road to come back here once a year and be pleased that everything is still intact, but that there's something else to do. Because I don't know about you, but I get bored on the same old stuff sometimes, and I really would like a new adventure, or at least a little angle of new adventure. So right now we have a couple of new things going. We have mini suites being installed at the motel, which are going to be awesome, with private patios, fire rings, patio furniture, barbecues. A great way to linger at our place and just really settle in and enjoy it, with multiple bedrooms and multiple bathrooms. And then in August, we'll have our new Cavern Grotto restaurant, which is a beautiful restaurant seating area 220 feet underground, where you can enjoy our really, really good food in the cavern setting and get a chance to linger down there, because we realized over the past 60 years that people come through and they get a chance to look, but we're constantly moving them along. We're shooing them along through the thing. And wouldn't it be nice to go down and just sit and check it out in the absolutely most pretty spot in the whole place and enjoy it for 90 minutes. So that's what we're doing.
Very good. John, thank you. Thanks for talking with us today, and thank you for putting this back together.
Oh, it's will never be done, and we're having so much fun.
Very good, John. Thank you. It's good to meet you out here at the Caverns. I mean, it seems like the meeting of the minds out here.
Thank you, Jim.
How are you doing? Good?
Good. The weather's great here, so, love being here.
My corner of paradise, I like not having cell service. That and the fact they have good pie. That's how you get in this kind of shape, knowing where all the pie's at. But that's another story. So what kind of photography projects are you working on now?
Currently working on a book for Route 66. I'm almost done with it. I think about 90% of it, and then, I got to shoot some more images, but I'll be finishing here pretty soon.
It's going to be a state-by-state, in-order type situation?
Yeah, the book is going to be more like a coffee table book, and it's going to be, the way you would travel the road originally from Chicago to LA. So it'll be laid out that way, and it'll be 66 images of the icons of Route 66.
You were talking about possibly including a little detail of how you captured the photography.
Yes, a lot of it is going to be the what they call the metadata information, how those pictures were taken, so that if somebody wants to go take that photograph, they'll know how to take it.
What the heck got you started on all this Route 66 mania effort?
About 5 years ago, after I graduated from Syracuse University from the photojournalism program there, the military sent me through. I was traveling the road back to Arizona from New York, and I happened to see a lot of tourists taking pictures of Route 66, and I was curious more than anything else. I was wondering what was the big hoopla about. And when I talked to them, they were saying that, they were documenting this famous highway, and I knew about Route 66, but I didn't know it was this, that big, that popular.
It's a pretty amazing road, and it becomes it's not even really a road anymore, is it? It's kind of America's longest theme park, or living time capsule with just a little bit of Disneyland, but you meet the most amazing people on this road. It just seems to overcome barriers of language and culture, and it's got there's a peace about it. It's really difficult to describe until you experience it.
Yeah, that is true, because when I first traveled, I couldn't understand it. It took me a while to kind of figure out that it is a magical road. It's, a road of adventure, opportunities, for a lot of people, for businesses, and, even for artists themselves that like to travel and document it, similar to what I'm doing.
Well, you're definitely an artist. I follow your photography, and I'm just absolutely amazed by some of the things you accomplish.
Oh, thank you.
With the camera. That's true. There used to be a bit of an argument whether photography was art or not. Well, with your work, there's definitely no doubt about that at all. Your work is art.
Well, I've been blessed. Like I truly believe that everyone's put here on Earth to do something. I just happen to be good at taking pictures. So
we all have been blessed with gifts and talents, so we can be a blessing unto others. That's kind of generous of John to open up here. The caverns is such an amazing, amazing place. Have you had a chance to do any photography in the caverns yet?
Not yet. This is my first time being here, so I'm here to kind of explore and to capture, the essence of what the caverns are. Not just the caverns inside, but the overall, facility itself.
Yeah. It's a pretty neat property, though. It's literally evolved with Route 66. The discovery, I think, was 27 of the caverns. So the property's just literally evolved with Route 66. And now with the highway's renaissance, the caverns is going through a renaissance. It's pretty darn exciting.
Yeah, it is. So far, what I've seen, it's very interesting, and now it's capturing that, to get a feel for what it was to be here is going to be the challenge. But I think I could do it.
Well, I know you can. I know you can. Especially with some of your background in photography, this is a lot less stressful than some of the things you've been shooting. Very good, Efren. Well, I look forward to your book. And I look forward to seeing what you're going to pull off of the caverns.
Yeah, the other thing too is, besides the book, I would like to do photography workshops here at the caverns. I would like to, be able to teach people how, or show them how to improve their photography on Route 66, and use the caverns as a staging, facility to go both east and west on the longest stretch of Route 66.
This would be a great place to set up a photography workshops like that. You got all the conditions: a little bit of snow in the winter, nice summer temperatures, and a lot of diverse things to shoot. You've got the dark sky situation here, a lot of wildlife, and if they're really ambitious, there's always spelunking.
Yes. Yeah, the other thing about, this section of Route 66 that I enjoy is probably the prettiest section of all the Mother Road, because I've traveled it, and this area is just scenic, wise, is really beautiful. You've got, from Hackberry to, Cool Springs to Oakman, you've got Seligman, you've got, Ash Fork, all these areas that are, opportunities to take pictures are endless here.
Well, I always tease people. I'm pretty partial to this neck of the woods from Seligman down to Topak and Arizona and New Mexico. I'm real partial to it. It's not exactly politically correct, but I always joke with people that if your lens covers off, a one-eyed blind man cannot take a really bad photograph. But still, it's a difference between taking a good photograph and artistry.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people could really improve their photography here because the subject matter is just great. There's so many opportunities, and sometimes just a little bit of guidance. That's all someone needs, just how to look a little bit better, at something, or how to, from a different perspective, and their photography just steps up to the next level.
Well, a person can always learn something new, and if you got a good teacher, it makes all the difference in the world.
Appreciate that.
Good. Thank you for joining us today. I guess it's time to go look for some pie.
Yeah, thank you, Jim.
Yeah, I recommend the chocolate cream pie, but I'm pretty partial. The apple's pretty good, too.
Okay.
Like I say, you don't get in this kind of shape and not chase pie. Folks, thank you for joining me on another adventure in Jim Hinckley's America. These odysseys are always best when they're shared with friends. Folks, before we saddle up here, we're going to have a bit of coffee and maybe a slice of pie here at Grand Canyon Caverns. Get ready for another adventure. Hope you'll join me for that one as well. We're going to introduce you to 80 miles of what I like to call 160 miles of smiles. It's a little bit of a teaser. I'll tell you this much. This next adventure is going to be filled with old cars, fascinating barber, some colorful scenery, a few interesting people, and some of my favorite places on Route 66. Folks, thanks again, and I hope to see you on the next adventure. Vaya con Dios, mis amigos.
Say hello to a new friend on an old road. Take a two-lane trip of memories into mysteries unknown. Come along for the ride. Jim Hinckley's America. Jim Hinckley's America.
about you want me doing this kind of stuff.
Well, everything you
I want
want.
to move the pie.
Every,